I really need to make up for the lack of something in particular, so here is Let's Play NightSky. By the way, I'm doing this in post-commentary because of the situation to do with the game itself. You've got normal mode and you've got alternative mode. If I'd been doing it either way, it would be post-commentary because I have seen this game before, I've played it before. Let's read. Late one afternoon, I randomly stumble upon a beautiful sphere at the beach. It's like nothing I've ever seen. I can't tell whether it's made of crystal, glass, or some other substance. I do notice a subtle glow and presence as if it has some kind of life force. Alright, they just go on their own. Without another thought, I pick up the mysterious sphere and decide to take it home. You're probably on your own for the decision to do that. Touching one that's glowing like that, would it be safe? Since that first night, I've had nothing but the strangest dreams about surreal places and experiences. Life inside that, causing you to dream in such a way. Okay, again, this is going to be post-commentary because, one, I guess it's just a different way to keep the ball rolling, and two, difficulty to do with the game. Let's begin with the Harara Mountains. Now, basic controls in the game, you've got A if you want to brake, and S if you want to... I was about to say if you want to jump, S if you want to roll quickly. If you want to be able to jump, you better be able to find a slope so that you can go upwards. That's probably the best you can do for that. If you are unable to execute one of the commands, either A or S, then an X will show up on the ball. There are other unusual circumstances that A or S will not necessarily mean brake or jump respectively. And there are other very unusual circumstances you won't necessarily be rolling, actually. But we'll get to those a little bit later in the game. So, yeah, pretty basic here, even very basic to do with the colors. Got the gradient for the sky in the background. Black ball, black walls, and everything. Yep, one way to get me back to the knit stories again. One other thing, though, unlike knit stories, I guess you don't have to worry too much about death here. So we see out there, if you can just barely see on the top right of that window, there is a star somewhere in this level. The previous levels did not have them, but this one does. Now, I'm just going to try and find a way to pick up the star. Well, I already did, but again, this is post-commentary, so... Even that, just trying to focus all my energy on this, somehow, trying to roll the ball like that, is a bit difficult for me. You just gotta slow down at the right time. If you do it a bit too early, you won't be able to get to the left side. If you do it a bit too late, you'll get a bit too far to the left. If you press the wrong key at the wrong time. It's funny to do with when you are upside down. Basically the left and right controls, I would say that they are reversed. There are other times, though, when they are not. That can really throw us off. Well, another slope may look impossible there, but gotta take advantage of the reverse controls one more time. Our star is located somewhere that's not quite so obvious, but at the same time, I suppose there was a little hint to that small hole. And once you go into the hole, you get the star just like that. You don't have to go through too much effort. Now, brake. Yep, that was a brake. Very helpful in some levels, and I guess gives you maybe a bit more friction, whatever to say about it. Definitely a bit more control. Well, we've already gone through, but we can't go back to the left that way, so here when we land, we have to do it just right. Or maybe we have to find another way. So, we'll try rolling again. Perhaps best way may be to go to the right, just to hug the wall on the left. Both ways I can picture working. But for me, the best way was, of course, to go to the right and then bounce backwards. Going to be so many levels here where basically the third screen or the first screen, maybe the first and third screens, are going to be just keep rolling to the right and you can continue. You don't have to pull any sort of tricks. Or maybe you could just skip them all if the level has a star in it. Like this one, we got another star. Oh, here to this one. In alternative mode, this was the first one to give me trouble. Though in normal mode, when I had first played it, I don't think this was the first one to do so. Speaking of normal mode, you get some text down below, basically to guide you in this. In alternative, you are on your own. Now, as for this, gotta find alternative ways to get around. There's one way that doesn't work. I think there are some ways that you could do it in normal, but not in alternative, and vice versa. So here, just cut video. This is my rather unusual way of doing it. Forcing the bridge like that. It is possible to make it fall, and even if it does fall, I do know that it is possible to continue to the right. Just as long as you're going quickly. Now we get to another element here, and manage to lose the ball like that, even though the hole is so small. Pinball flippers. Past experiences that I've had with pinball sometimes. Past bugs in a few games. It could be a nightmare returning. This game, probably not meant to be so nightmarish. Not one where you're really meant to scream at all. Supposed to relax. And like that. By the way, when you're controlling the flippers, you cannot control how the ball rolls. The way you shoot the ball from the flippers, that can affect how you do it. But that's pretty much all you have to rely on. Now here, we're not the only one that's going to be rolling here, which makes this part a little weird to control. And yes, personal experience, these do bug me a little bit, but you just have to get used to it. Break at the right time. I'm clearly demonstrating the right time right now. Even if it rolls like that, you could find another way, but in this case, not really so successful, so just another restart, and there we go. Once you can roll, you've got it, and you are good. Yes, I hope we are good here. But even more, at least this time we don't have to balance on them, we just have to clear them out. And then after we do that, we should be ready. We can take some of those with us if we wanted, but we cannot carry them over to the next level. It would have been funny if we could. At the same time, that would have been cruel. Although, just by pressing restart, I would have to assume that you would have been able to just clear those out anyway, since it would be pretty much the same as if, I guess, you had chosen the level from the menu before from the level select. Okay, so some levels do really get to me. This one, not so much. Although, given how it's shaped like that, if you miss the center, you gotta start over again. Well, another cut. And here, after playing with the soaps, we finally made it. One more gimmick we can see now. All the way in World 1. You gotta play with gravity. Can't really control the ball that much other than pressing a key in order to be able to control the gravity itself. That's all you can really do, and hope that you are successful. Yep, all this time, looks like you could get hurt by some enemies, but this is not Knit Stories. You're pretty much safe. Makes me wonder how many of these any of these creatures out there would really go after Junie. They probably would. They probably don't have interest in a ball. Ball just wants to be able to roll around. They assume that's all it can really do, even though, since I'm controlling the ball, they might just end up fooled. Something about the ball. Yeah, they're really going to be fooled. So let's speed up. Have to do it at the right time, though. And rolling like this. Got it. Whenever you need to, brake so that you don't have to bounce off the wall and go backwards right into the pit. Almost could have done it there, but nope. I prefer to be certain about how I can pull it off. Oh. Yeah. One more try. Just keep rolling. Just try to stay in the center when you can. Such familiar settings here. All this black definitely looks like used to be a knit story. Definitely. Now, we gotta play with some rotation here. Notice that ring right there. And also notice that your brake is automatically enabled. There is no way to disable it here. But you can use that to an advantage because the ball is a bit easier to control, even though it is kind of slow. And with these slopes, it's also easy to control. Even on that triangle, I would say that it's quite easy. I'm just holding the right arrow right now, and this does seem to be working. One more. Take us forward. Can't really jump, but we don't need to here. We are safe. And with that, next time we go to skimming. We'll see you then.